Good, it sounds good.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you so much, Tots Maywee. Good morning, and it's a great pleasure to be here. Yeah, so it was great having Jennifer Andreas talk before me. She talked a lot about the specifics, just some of how biocontrol works and whatnot. So I can just kind of more delve into our program and some of the biocontrol insects that we're using and what we're finding. So it's great to be here. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show just a little bit about the Biocontrol Center. As you can see, this is our facility. The Biocontrol Center was established in 1999. So we've been around for a while, and it's pretty cool as being a part of the Nez Perce tribe. This is the first facility of any tribe that focuses just on biological control. So as you can see, we have some greenhouses for rearing the new agents. We have different rearing gardens right here and up here. And we also use our field sites too for mass collecting once we get the newer biocontrol agents in higher numbers. So, and then distribute them to areas of need. But we also have a laboratory. This is our office building, and our laboratory sits over here, offices along here. We have a conference room also that we do hold different meetings and workshops and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. It's like almost like an outdoor school room. So we have a lot of kids programs that come, and we can show them what biocontrol is all about as we manage these invasive weeds that occupy thousands and thousands of acres across the larger landscape. So the current mission statement of the Biocontrol Center is that we will provide a full service biological control of weeds program to landowners and managers throughout the Pacific Northwest while creating quality employment for the Nez Perce people. So this is just showing, this beautiful garden of flowers. That's Dalmatian toadflax, and we have a very successful, as you've heard before, a biocontrol agent, stem boring weevil, that controls this weed. And we're seeing, across Idaho, we're seeing have been over probably 70–80% reduction across the whole landscape when we're talking from a statewide standpoint. So these are some of the people that are working we have currently working full-time at the Biocontrol Center, and also we bring on some seasonal college interns as well. Again, I just wanted to show the Nez Perce Reservation. You can see over here that, it's in north central Idaho, and it occupies about 760,000 acres, and it includes the Clearwater River, which runs across the entire reservation. And then the South Fork of the Clearwater starts from about this point. And it's about 70 to 75 miles that runs across that, just to give you an idea of size. Also, we have a bunch of little canyons, as you can see through this the map. Just tons of little canyons, which host. We're kind of in the central of yellow star thistle country for the most part, and also common crapina. So I just want to talk about a few of the goals and go from there as far as trying to get this in a very capsulated time from which I'm going to be speaking. So one of our goals is to increase the availability of biocontrol weed organisms that are newly approved and in limited supply of Idaho. But also, when I talk about Idaho, it affects all the other surrounding states. So of course, it's going to be very similar. So as you can see, we have greenhouses right here that we use to start these new biocontrol agents, and once we get the populations up to a certain point, we start doing field releases, and from there, as the population continues to grow, we will able to collect those more in large numbers and then get them out to other places. So we're supplying biocontrol agents to every county in the state of Idaho and to other surrounding states that are requesting biocontrol agents from us. So it's pretty cool working with Jennifer. We work with a lot of the yellow star thistle agents, and we help those that are closely in proximity to where we are at the Biocontrol Center. We have gotten a lot of economic development to start this facility through the USDA Economic Development Administration grants. And our facility that we're operating right now, and I'm sitting about right there in the office, we completed it in January of 2003. So, and then we are able to continue to expand. We increased another greenhouse in 2014, and we're probably going to be in a great position to get more facility infrastructure for rearing new agents, as there's a lot coming on in the near future. Another program is to provide biocontrol technology transfer workshops. Basically, it's workshops. We schedule them and people come, and we actually go out and show people what these biocontrols look like from in the field, and also get some sweep nets, and we'll actually go collect some and then sort them and let them go home with the biocontrol release. So again, with education, with the practical experience of actually putting the tools in the hands of the private landowners, is empowers them to actually help their neighbors as well. So this has been very, very powerful as far as the education tool. And we also extend our education through school kids, different environmental groups in summers that come. And we actually have a biocontrol education classroom that we utilize. This is like a vending, almost a vending trailer. This door opens up. We have a big screen TV inside, which we can run videos, or we can do PowerPoints. And we have benches inside with microscopes that we can actually show kids what these insects are looking like and at different stages of the insect life. So again, to engage and to implement and to instill, maybe plant some seeds in these kids that they maybe want to be the next entomologist or natural resource manager of the larger landscape. Another program is, again, once we get these insectaries established out in the field, is to go and actually collect them and then redistribute them across to other areas of need. So currently we do work with, through the way it works in Idaho anyway, we work through the different weed districts, but we work through every weed superintendent. So every county, which is there's 44 in Idaho, we work with those county weed superintendents, which they are involved in their own cooperative weed management area, which could include their county, but also other counties as well. So it's more dealing with weeds on a landscape basis. So with that, we have the county weed superintendents, which are connected to their people from which they're represented in their small geographical area. And then they get the needs that are wanting or are needing for biocontrol to control weeds on the large landscape. And from there, we coordinate and get those releases to the county weed superintendents, and they distribute them to their CWMA partners and hit those areas of need. So just look at some common weeds that have approved biocontrol agents in Idaho and surrounding states. We're just going to look at a few. These are the ones that we got probably the heaviest requests for: still yellow star thistle, spotted knapweed, Dalmatian toadflax, Canada thistle, leafy spurge, rush skeleton weed, St. John's wort, and purple loosestrife. So I'll just give you a quick breeze through. We got 3 flies for yellow star thistle. They create a gall in the seed head. They're all seed head feeders. And then we have also 3 weevils. We're actually more targeting the Eustinopus, the hairy weevil. It attacks the seed head when it's still in bud, and then also the flower weevil, which is pretty prevalent pretty much everywhere now, and it lays its eggs directly into the open flower. Diffuse and spotted knapweed, we have quite a few seed feeders, a lot of weevils. We have a moth, and then we also have flies. We also have root feeders, the Cyphocleonis, which doesn't seem to fly too much, so it needs help from people to move them from place to place. And then we also have the Agapeta zoganda, which is a sulfur moth, and it can fly and distribute itself pretty well. And then we also have another beetle, the Sinoptera, and it mines out the root system. Again, when we have the combination of the seed feeders and the root feeders, you're hitting the plant hard on the top, and you're hitting it hard on the bottom through the root system. You start seeing a pretty good demise of the target weed. Dalmatian toadflax, we've already talked about that. We've had a great biocontrol agent, the stem boring weevil, and we've seen great reductions of that, up to 70 to 80% across the state of Idaho. Canada thistle, it's kind of interesting. These agents have been around for a while, the Europha cardui and the Pseudorhynchus latura, the stem weevil. But we've also, we see impact, but we don't see, we see very little impact. So we're actually targeting now, they have a new biocontrol agent. It's a naturalized rust. It's a fungus on the plant, and they're having great luck down in Colorado. And we're putting some research plots in Idaho to see if we can get that rust to be systemic and move into the root system. And they're seeing great demise of that weed with that biocontrol agent. Leafy spurge, these are the common ones that we're moving, is the Aphthona species. There's 6 specific species, and also the Oberea, which is a stem-boring beetle, which together they seem to have a pretty good impact on leafy spurge. Again, biocontrol is not an eradication program. It's more of a control and reduction program. And hopefully it'll get to a point over time that, you know, even though there's a few plants around, it's not one that we're seeing a big degradation to the landscape, the native plants.
Paul, about 4 minutes left.
Thank you. So we have a lot of, also for rush skeleton weeds, which is a tough perennial, we have a lot of biocontrols for that. We're kind of targeting, we're having good luck with the mite right here. And we also have a fungus, but the mite does a pretty good job of reducing seed load. We're working with this one at the Biocontrol Center. And I think we're probably the only facility now in the nation that is still rearing this biocontrol agent in the greenhouses. But also we're starting to see great results out in the field. Even after 15 years of the initial release, we're now seeing that there's been some pretty good reductions down in southern Idaho near Banks, and it's pretty exciting. So we're getting establishment in different areas. We're using this one in the wilderness areas of Idaho, and just because it's so hard to get to a lot of those roadless areas. St. John's wort is one of the first biocontrol agents ever introduced in the United States. I call it the World War II biocontrol agents because it was right around the mid-40s that it was approved and used. And we're seeing tremendous, it works really well in our area here on the Nez Perce Reservation. Where we have yellow star thistle now is because it was at the same level with St. John's wort. The beetle took out the St. John's wort, and then we got introduced with the yellow star thistle. So this is, as one plant disappears, another one will fill that niche, and that's what we're seeing. So using other tools such as revegetation and using the other ones to promote the use, the generation of native plants and other beneficial plants, cultural plants, is really important. Purple loosestrife is one of those wetland type plants that we're seeing a lot of problems with, but we have pretty control of it. For the most part, it is control. But we do get requests where the populations go down, so we augment a lot of the Gallaricella, which basically defoliates the plant. We're rearing this new agent. Well, it's not a new one, but it's a hard to collect one out in the field, but we're rearing it in our laboratory here, and we get out, we can meet all the needs in Idaho, and we can actually meet the needs of in other states as well.
2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So this is just some activities. I just wanted to show some activity. Here's Mary Lawrence, and they're mixing up some artificial diet, and it puts them in these little cups, and then we collect the eggs through the mating chamber, and these eggs are placed, sanitized, and put on the artificial diet. And in 3 months, it'll hatch, and then there'll be an adult weevil. So it's highly laborious and intense, but it's one way to get one of these more limited biocontrol agents out in the field. Russian knapweed, Jennifer talked about this one already, so I think I'll continue to move on. We've got field establishments of both the Yapiella and the Alicidia, and we're seeing pretty good reductions in that. We're seeing over 40% reduction in biomass with these biocontrol agents. Again, a big part of it program is monitoring. So we partner with a lot of different folks, county weed superintendents, other agency folks, tribal folks, and what we do is we use a standardized impact monitoring protocol. It's called SIMP, And basically, it's just a 20-meter transect. We use a Doppelmayr frame. It's a quarter meter by a half a meter, and it's placed within a 2-meter quadrant. It's placed every 2 meters up along that transect, and then we read the vegetation, including the target weed and the other weeds, and then the perennial grasses, the forbs, and whatever else is there, including bare ground and even moss and litter from the year before. And then that is recorded year after year, and then you can start getting trends from that data. So I just wanted to kind of just give you a quick update on how the SIMP works, the Standardized Impact Monitoring Protocol, and it has been very valuable as far as saying what's happening across the landscape. This is just the hard copy of collecting that monitoring data. You can also get it through Biocontrol that Jennifer talked about, and I'll address that right now. So there is a web page. This is one I'm using with the BLM Biocontrol web page, and it's within Idaho and the Idaho State Department of Ags. And this kind of talks about the different kind of the website is Biocontrol, but it talks about the different and how to utilize the SIMP, which is a Standardized Impact Monitoring Protocol. It has all the information that you need from it. So here's the website you can go to get some of that direct information. Very powerful. It's one of those things you could do a workshop on that would bring people up to speed, and that's something that we could probably get make happen if we can get a group of people that want to know how to do that. So again, looking into 2023, we're looking at workshops, we're collecting biocontrol agents, getting into places of need, and we're looking at monitoring. So contact us if you need any biocontrol agents, or if you need some monitoring to see what's going on out there. We can sure do that. At least come alongside you to help you with that. Biocontrol releases, and we're coordinating within the state of Idaho, the Idaho Biocontrol Task Force, which is made up of all the biocontrol gurus, universities, quarantine facilities, federal managers, state managers, county folks, private landowners. Again, it takes us all to address weeds on the large landscape. So getting that cooperative partnership among all neighbors is really important. And that includes, of course, the surrounding states. It's just we work seamlessly with that to make things happen. One of the last goals is we assist in biocontrol of weed implementation in Idaho by managing the statewide biocontrol agent release database. So the Biocontrol has developed and maintains a biocontrol weeds organism database, so Biocontrol, to assist in the coordination of biocontrol needs and resources within Idaho. So we collect all the biocontrol agents that are released. We receive all of those, the release information back, and then we enter it into the database so that we know where the biocontrol release is occurring, and that just allows us to take biocontrol to another level as far as the research that can be done from those releases, and then also how we can move that and transfer that knowledge of how the biocontrols are working in different geographical areas and make that work as a footprint across the larger landscape in other states, other areas of the state of Idaho, and just continue to promote the use of monitoring and the use of biocontrol in large landscape weed management. Weed identification is really important. Again, if you see a plant that you're not used to seeing, it's really important to get it identified. There's a lot of different resources. Universities, the county extensions are wonderful. And you can also, talk to your county weed superintendent or the extension is probably the best to know what you're doing, because there's a lot of new invasives that are coming our way, and we got to be ready to do that. So here are some new biocontrol agents we are just currently working with, and it's yellow star thistle, houndstone, white top, yellow toad flax, and knotweed. So here's in our facility, we started plants in 2021. We're continuing it this year of this new little weevil that's attacking yellow star thistle on the root system. So it's the first root feeding weevil for yellow star thistle. We're hoping to get a couple field releases out this year working with different folks at the University of Idaho. Here's houndstong. There's a seed feeding weevil for houndstong. This will be the first biocontrol agent to have released. It'll likely be this fall, so we're pretty excited about that. We're working with Montana State University, Dr. Jeff Littlefield. He came over to the our reservation here in Idaho, and we actually made our first releases of the white top gall mite, which is really exciting. So we're very excited about that, and we have great sites. This is all white top for the most part. So we're hoping to get a good insectary growing where we can start moving that agent here in the next couple of years. There's one for yellow toadflax, which is different than Dalmatian toadflax. It's a gall forming weevil. We got our first releases this fall, 2 of them from the Rocky Mountain Research Station out of the U.S. Forest Service, and Dr. Charlene Singh is the head on this biocontrol agent. So it galls the plant nearly right to the ground. I mean, it keeps that plant from producing seeds. So it looks like a pretty good one. So we made 2 releases on the reservation this last fall. And again, Jennifer already talked about the knotweed, and we're using the Scilla tool. We made our first release here on the reservation this last summer. So we're excited about that. There's a lot of information that needs to be gleaned from these new agents. And then Comicropina is one that we have a problem with. It grows very similar to the yellow star thistle, and we're working with that this year with the University of Idaho and the ARS, the Agricultural Research Service. So that's what we kind of got going on. There's a lot of, those are the primary ones that we're working with. There are some new biocontrols that are coming on board for oxeye daisies, Dyer's ward, and Russian olive, and also cheatgrass, and and Medusa head is one of the other ones that are going to be very important. So those are pretty much the new biocontrol agents that we're utilizing. Biocontrol works good on a large landscape, and it's a great opportunity to just talk to you about this. Are we about at the end right now?